And welcome everybody back. UFC preview podcast with myself, Edie. We got Dawk as usual at @positive_vig and our good old buddy Duggy at California MMA. I will let you guys give your introductions in a minute, but I almost did a different song for that because this is a bigger card than the intro deserves. This is huge. This is UFC 205 live from Madison Square Garden. 3 title fights, 6-card main event. Absolutely insane card, even with the loss of the fight we'll talk about later. But real quick, Dougie, Doc, how are y'all doing tonight?
Good, man. Just ready to get into this thing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, doing excellent. I'm the wait is almost over. It seems like we've been waiting forever for this, so I'm fucking so pumped.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this fight card forever, ever since they announced it was happening, and they kept throwing in fights, and it's, man, locked and loaded. Without further ado, real quick, awesome fight card down in Mexico this past weekend, and some other great fight cards since the last time we got together. Any recent fights you guys want to touch on before we dig into 205?
I mean, the obvious one is Ferguson and RDA. I mean, that was nuts. I don't know. I didn't think he was going to be able to do what he did to RDA like that. And RDA didn't look bad or anything. He just outworked him and like willed his way to that win. Kind of cool. He's from my hometown, so I've been actually following Ferguson for like ever, like way before Ultimate Fighter. So it's kind of cool having that. He's become such like a submission threat guy. When he was here and left here, he was like a pure wrestle boxer. Like he had no sub game at all. So it's kind of cool to see how much he's rounded out his game, and he's like the legit #1 contender now.
Yeah, this heck of a fight. What do you got, Doc?
Yeah, I was actually on Ferguson. I jumped on him late. I was actually going to stay away from the whole card, but I jumped on Ferguson about, I don't know, probably half an hour. I saw him at whatever he was, plus 125 something, and yeah, I'm with Dougie. I mean, he really picked him apart, and you could argue that he coulda, woulda, shoulda won that fight, probably 49-46, because he took over. I mean, he just basically, he was so relaxed in that fight, and he just, I couldn't believe it, man. I thought Ferguson would win, but that impressively, unbelievable. And then Diego Sanchez, man. Unbelievable. That was a great fight too. So there's been some good fights, and I'm psyched for this weekend.
No, that was a great fight card. I'm a big El Kukui fan. We've talked about him before, and he was just a complete control. Everyone was worried about altitude and everything. It didn't affect him one bit.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool to see Diego. Everyone keeps thinking every fight's going to be his last fight, but that was a big win for him. I know people have been trying to play off his competition and everything, but for a guy that's been doing it as long as he has, and you can see he's not quite what he used to be, but to still put together fights like that is pretty damn impressive for the guy, especially a career fight like he's always wanted to fight back in Mexico. So that was big for him as well. Well, let's get into it. UFC 205, locked and loaded. There's a 2-fight pass prelim starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Liz Carmouche making her return first fight since April 2015 against Caitlin Blonde fighter Chukagin. I probably butchered it, 8-0 in the women's bantamweight division. They're kind of saying it's Carmouche can become relevant again with the win. Chukagin can assert herself with the W and really move up the ladder. do you guys have anything to say on this early opening fight?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's the consensus. Okay, moving on. I know we have something to say on this one. The second fight on the Fight Pass prelims: Jim Miller versus Thiago Pitbull Alves. Two guys in their 30s. Two guys most would think towards the end of their career in the lightweight division. Miller 2-fight win streak. Alves first fight since May of 2015. I know, Doc, you said you had something you wanted to say on this one. We'll start with you.
Yeah, this one really caught my eye, actually. And, I know a lot of the, people that are betting this card are mainly looking at the main card is the fights to bet. But I just want to put this out there. And I'd like to ask you, Brian, and you, Dougie, why is Miller an underdog?
I'll let Dougie take that one because I can't figure it out either.
I don't know. I kind of it's probably a size thing, and is he gonna outstrike Alves? Can he outstrike Alves? I mean, I don't think he can get him down. I mean, I don't. If he gets him down, he should be better. But like, we're talking about a small 55er and a dude that was used to be considered a huge 170er. But I mean, I don't know. He's a tool guy, but I don't. This line doesn't seem wrong to me. But I mean, I don't think I would bet Alves just because he's been on such a layoff, and I don't know if that's maybe the angle you're looking at is the layoff. Or in the first trip down to 55?
Yeah, I think it's the weight cut and the layoff combined with that. I just think that the only hesitation I have with betting Miller, and I actually had Miller against who did he fight last? The guy from Mass.
Lauzon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Lauzon.
And I mean, some say Lauzon won that fight. I thought Miller won the fight, but maybe I'm biased, but the fact that Miller's kind of found like a little bit of a new life in the UFC, so to speak. I think with the weight cut, Alves, a year and a half, ring rust. I just think the value's on Miller here, and I think I might put a small play in on Miller. I like Dougie said, I would not bet Alves as a favorite. There's no way. And plus Alvis's gas tank. You don't know how it's going to be. Miller can fight. He's going to be fighting near his hometown. He doesn't have to travel.
True.
I just think the value's on Miller here. I do. It's kind of I was taken aback by this a little bit, and I like Miller here.
What do you have it lined at right now, Doc?
Plus 135, Miller.
Yeah, that is value because, like you guys both have said, I find it to be. I think it's more of an even fight than I want, like that line indicates. But because obviously Alves has the power advantage, but that layoff and the weight cut I think is going to be huge for Alves, making this 155 being off for so long. And Miller's actually, I know Lauzon's a good fighter. People, I don't know why they take that for granted, but 2 straight wins. He looks to be a little bit like he's back in command, but. We'll see. And like you mentioned, it's kind of a hometown for him, and a lot of fights as we'll go through this. A lot of hometown fighters on this card.
Yep.
All right, let's move to the FS1 prelims, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. We have 4 fights to break down on the prelims. We'll start it off with Vicente, the Silent Assassin, Luque, 10-5-1, 3-1 in the UFC, versus Bilal. Remember the name, Muhammad, 10-1, 1-1 in the UFC. In the welterweight division, Luque took the fight kind of on somewhat short notice for supposed to be Lyman Good, who got busted for PEDs apparently. Luque's coming off a 3-fight win streak. 9 of his 10 wins were by stoppage. We'll start with you, Dougie. What are you seeing in this fight?
These guys are both good. They're both newer to the UFC. I mean, I guess Luque's fought 3 times, and I think Muhammad's fought twice.
Yeah.
But Luque is kind of separated himself from like the generic Brazilian guy. You know, he's kind of made a name for himself because he's lit a couple dudes up recently. And Muhammad's a pretty good technical striker. I mean, he shows up. I don't know. I have no idea on this. I don't even know what the line is, but like, I don't have a good enough read on either of these guys to feel confident with a play either way. I think this is just going to be a good action fight.
What do you got, Doc?
I kind of agree with Dougie here. Bilal's got a fucking chin and a half. He's tough. I mean, if I had to bet it, I'd probably take Muhammad, but yeah, it's kind of a no. I'm not really. Over 2.5 is -205. It might be a nice parlay piece because I don't see anybody get knocked out here.
I don't know, dude. Luque fucking knocks dudes out.
Bilal's got a fucking chin.
I know. That's like a weird, like, I don't know. I have no read on, like, anything can happen in this fight. Like,
yeah.
No, this is that perfect first fight of your free prelim card. Two young guys, like you both said, two up-and-coming guys trying to make a name in the UFC. Like you both said, Luque, 9 of 10 of his wins, 4 KOs, 5 subs. He knows how to finish. Heavy hitter, phenomenal Muay Thai. Then you got Muhammad, like you said, a precision striker, but can wrestle. But do you want to get on the Muay Thai game on the ground? There's tons going on.
Like the dude that wins this fight will have to fight like a Rick Story or something like that. Like they'll have to take like the top 20, top 15 step. Like I think. I mean, like one of them's going to get a fight like a fading Jake Ellenberger or something like that and try to make a name or something like, you know what I mean? Like I just, these guys are both good and like someone's going to win and someone's going to get a step forward, I think, from this fight.
Works for me. We'll move on to the next FS1 prelim. Was originally supposed to be on the Fight Pass prelims, but since Rashad Evans' Tim Kennedy fight was removed from the card, Evans had some weird New York failed medicals. They pretty much already scheduled this fight for UFC 206. So it's some snafu into the medicals in New York. So we got the Rafael Sapo Natal 21-7-1 versus Tim the Barbarian Boach 19-10 in the middleweight division. Two guys in their mid-30s. Bosch just hanging on for dear life. Natal trying to keep it going after having his 4-fight win streak snapped. And he's a Manhattan boy. Natal was he trains, they said, a couple miles from MSG. What do you got, Doc?
I'm not betting the fight, but if I had to bet it, I would probably. Oh man, it's tough. I like the way Natal fights. I do, but man, Boach is just one of those guys that can just make a fight like really, really ugly. And if it goes to the scorecards, then you know, and he's got some power. Boach does. I mean, I don't understand how he's still in the UFC, but like Tim Boach has been a guy that's wrecked a couple parlays, that's for sure. So I would not count Boach out, but if I had to do anything with this, I would probably take Natal, but I am staying away.
What are you thinking on this one, Dougie?
This fight is like the most middleweight fight ever. Because middleweight is this fucking weird fight weight where like there's 5 or 6 like super elite dudes, and then there's some okay guys that are kind of getting older, and then there's this fucking group of 10 guys or like 12 guys, and like I would have fucking bet money that Natal and Boach had already fought. Like how have these guys
It's a good
for
point.
like 8 years or something like that. And like, it's this class of like Bosch, Camozzi, Tom Watson, Natal, fucking Sam Alvey, like there's like a group of them and they all fucking suck. And they all just like, middleweight is so bad that they just kind of all get to fight each other over the last 5 years and win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and they just stay. But like, exactly, no idea what's going to happen. But like, if these guys with their skill set were at 170 or 155 or 145, they would not be in the UFC. Like, slow, unathletic dudes that can like kind of box and have a like sloppy jiu-jitsu game with no wrestling. That shit doesn't fly in other weight classes. It's just that middleweight's this weird void of talent. There's 5 super elite dudes that could probably beat most guys at light heavyweight. But after that, it's fucking brutal.
Yep, that nails that one on the head. It's so true, though. You summed it up perfectly, because you look at it, Natal's, this will be his 16th UFC fight. It'll be Bosch's 20th.
Exactly.
And it's just like, yeah, you got a great point. And that's why this was on the Fight Pass card before the Evans-Kennedy deal.
Like, this could easily be Boch Natal 3. Easily.
It should be.
Easily. Like if someone had said that, I'd have been like, yep. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Shit. Well, let's move on to some of the big names. Now we're getting towards the people that everyone knows. We got a battle in the lightweight division. The number 2 contender, the guy that thought he deserved the title shot versus Alvarez, did not get it. Almost said he was quitting the UFC, but I think he realized the reality of that situation. Got Khabib, the Eagle, Nurmagomedov. He's 23-0, 7-0 in the UFC versus Michael the Menace Johnson, 18-10, 9-6 in the UFC, 6th ranked lightweight. Khabib, 7 straight wins in the UFC. He does it all. Johnson, 6 of his 10 losses have been by submission. But great takedown defense, 81% takedown defense in the UFC. Dougie, we'll start you off with this one. This should be a great one to get things going.
Yeah, I mean, most of this fight card is lined pretty well, and it's hard for me to get a place I like on it. But to me, I mean, Nurmagomedov should fucking body this dude. I mean, I understand that Johnson's kind of long and he's good and stuff, and it's been a little bit, but like, Nurmagomedov should be able to close the distance and get his hands on this guy and just kind of overwhelm him. Now, I don't want to lay the 300 on that, but I don't think there's any way he's finishing Johnson. So I think the over 2.5 is like -150. So that's the play to me on this. I think his wrestling is going to be too much. I think Johnson's kind of an inconsistent guy that he can just probably just close like walk through a couple shots and get to him and get his hands on him and then just never let him up. Or just kind of like a rinse repeat, get up, takedown, get up, takedown, get up, takedown. But should be Khabib. I just like the hardly finish a fucking sandwich, so I don't think he's finishing him. But that's my read on that, is the over 2.5 at like -150.
What are you thinking, Doc?
Man, this is going to be an excellent fight. I think this is going to be a really good fight. You know, I kind of like Johnson. I kind of do. For the simple fact that, like, he was pissed, he got passed over, and he wanted a title shot and all this stuff. But the thing about Nurmagomedov is the fact that when he sometimes gets sloppy. You know what I mean, Dougie?
Oh yeah,
big time.
And if he gets sloppy, I think Johnson can tag him. Mm-hmm. Johnson's striking is like pretty good.
Yeah.
And I actually think Johnson's the only path for victory for Johnson is if he knocks
Yes.
Khabib out. But then again, Khabib could either submit him or he's got, he could go to a decision. Johnson's got some good takedown defense, but Khabib is a different animal. I agree, but I just think that if you want to, over 2.5 is good. I like that, but I might put a small play in on Johnson, and I think he's a.
What's the KO prop? What's his KO prop?
I don't have that up on Bookmaker. I would imagine it's probably 400, Dougie.
Not bad.
I'm
not going to win a decision.
No, he's not going to win a decision.
Play the KO and play the over. You'll make some money.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a. It's yeah. I think Johnson inside the distance would be the way to attack this if you like the dog. I don't think he's winning a decision, but that's the only way. Yeah, that's Dougie's right on. I mean, I like a small play on Johnson. I think the value's there. I think he's I mean, a lot of people don't really like. We went through this, Bubba. I don't know. I mentioned Johnson versus Poirier, and I like Johnson.
Yep.
I wasn't on him, but everybody was on Poirier, and I was like, dude, long left-hander. Like,
yeah.
What are we talking about here? Like, what's Conor McGregor? Long left-hander. Like,
right.
He's gonna fucking get caught because he can't fucking see it.
I just think that, Johnson's hand speed, he can strike. I think he's going to be able to strike with Khabib, but the only thing is the takedowns. I mean, Khabib's a fucking solid wrestler, man. So
yep.
I don't know, but I like a small play on Johnson. I do.
No, you guys hit it on the head. It's basically the battle of two evils. If Khabib can get inside on Johnson, great chance to take him down and do some damage, even though he's got good takedown defense. But if Johnson can keep his distance and pick and poke, he's a phenomenal striker, and can get real interesting. Khabib's an amazing fighter, and on paper should wreck Johnson. But like you said, Doc, we've talked about it before. Every time Johnson's in that, like, no one's talking about him role, that's when he shows up and shows people they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and just another point on Johnson is that when he fought Poirier, like, I went through the fact that Johnson got robbed against Dariush, whatever his name is. Dariush, he took Diaz to the limit. Johnson's a good fighter, man.
He beat Ferguson.
So. Yeah, he did. That was a shocker.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the final card on the prelims, the FS1 prelims. This is going to be something special. We got the number 2 ranked featherweight Frankie the Answer Edgar at 19-5-1 against Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens 25-12. Edgar 5-0 in non-title featherweight fights. Stevens 17 of his 25 wins by knockout. This has stand it up and let's bang it out written all over it, in my opinion. Doc, start us off on this one.
Edgar's going to roll. He's going to dominate. Period. It's a good parlay piece if you like the -325. I think Edgar's going to roll. I don't see any way Stevens wins this. I think Edgar's going to pick him apart. That's my 2 cents.
Dougie?
Yeah, I think skill-wise he's way, way, way ahead, and Stevens can't out-wrestle him, and he's got a power edge, but Edgar seems to have solved his chin issue. He doesn't get, like, I haven't seen him get dotted like when he got dotted in those Maynard fights for, like, it's been a really long time. So I mean, Stevens has that weird special power, but I don't think it's worth the roll of the dice, I think. I mean, as far as laying the juice on Edgar, I haven't found anything to put him with, but that's probably not a bad parlay piece.
Yeah, no, Frankie, I've been a Frankie fan for years. I'm not saying you guys aren't. You guys probably are too. Yeah, I agree. His boxing's so good, the way he moves so much, and like you said, he's not leaving his chin out there as much like during the Maynard days. He's not taking those big hits that are the only way Steven's going to win this fight. Now, you never know. We've talked about it all the time. When you got that golden BB in your hand, anything's possible. But I think Edgar's the way. Let's get to the main card pay-per-view, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, 6 fights, 3 title fights, some number one contender type fights. This thing is freaking loaded. We'll start it off in the women's bantamweight division. The number one contender, Miesha Cupcake Tate, 18-6 versus Rocky Pennington, 8-6. Tate coming off her title loss to Nunez. Pennington 3-fight win streak. Dougie, start us off in the women's fight.
I don't really care about this fight that much, but I mean, I think that the play would be on Pennington because she's on a roll. She, as far as winning 3 fights, I don't know if she's fought that good because her Correa fight was kind of suspect. But you have to question Tate's, what would be the word, like drive for the fight, because she just was the champ and lost it. It's not like she's like 26 and that happened and she's like ready to go again. She's getting closer to the end of her career than the middle or beginning of it. And she probably feels a little like she's getting looked over. I think that's more the look. It is like, what the fuck, a Raquel Pennington fight? Like, let her fight home again or like a big name. But so I wonder how interested she is or how hard, if she really trained all out. And I bet this is like Pennington's Rocky fight right now. You know, she beats Miesha Tate. That's a huge W.
Totally agree. Dawk and I have talked about this. We were both on Nunez in the last fight. Tate doesn't impress me. Holm should have beat her. Holm slipped up and got lazy. Well, I wouldn't say lazy is the right word. She slipped up. She had that fight in the bag. I've never been big on Tate. I think she's a wrestler, and that's about all she does for me. I think Rocky can box with her pretty good and make it interesting. What do you think, Dawk?
I really want to be part of this fight. I have really no opinion. I mean, Tate should win, but I agree with Dougie. That the whole thing is, I don't know where Miesha Tate is like mentally. The drive, that's a big thing for me. But I mean, like Pennington like barely beat Dougie's favorite fighter, Betch Correa. So. So, I have no opinion on this fight. I'm not even like nothing. I do not care.
That's the better answer.
All right. If that's the case, we're moving on to the welterweight division. Number 5 in the division, Kelvin Gastelum, 13-2, versus one of my favorite fighters, period, and a lot of people's favorite. Number 6 in the welterweight division, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy 3-fight win streak since moving to the welterweight division. Gastelum filling in for Robbie Lawler. Dougie, kick us off on this one.
I have had a really hard time reading Cerrone at 170. So my inclination would be to take the dog here because Gastelum's a big 170er, and Cerrone is like, he's like a little like mildly retarded when he fights left-handers, and Calvin Gastelum's a big fucking southpaw. Like, I don't, but so saying that, he's probably going to get Matrix head kicked in like the middle of the second round or something. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to lay the juice on a fucking bloated up 155er that fucking can take one body kick and the fight's over. And we've seen that happen like time and like, just doesn't, he's got to hit a wall here at 170. I think Gastelum could be it, but like he could also just fucking walk through this dude like he did to Rick Story. So, I mean, it's kind of a dogger pass to me, but like, I don't fucking know. Like, again, like I said earlier about like the most confident bet I have on this card is the Khabib over fight. I think is what I feel the most confident about. But like, so like this is one I'm like, I have fucking no idea.
What are you thinking, Doc?
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. Man, I really wish I could. I think over 2.5 rounds, but then again, like Dougie said, Cerrone could go Matrix and shit. So
Yeah, and he could get body kicked, and the fight could be over in 30 seconds, like we've seen happen to him like 3 times. Like that's on the table with the left-handed dude because he's got the left body kick right into his liver that's fucking lacerated from fucking mountain biking or whatever the fuck he does. So it's like, and again, he could triangle this dude or head kick this dude or fucking, it's like it's too dangerous of a fight.
yeah, Cerrone. If he were to take Cerrone down, I think Cerrone could do something off his back, and I think this is a very, very hard fight for Gastelum. And I'm not really the biggest Gastelum fan. I'll be honest. I'm not. I don't know. Just like it's almost like sometimes when he fights, he like fights in slow motion. It's weird.
Yeah.
He's strong dude.
That's because he's filled with fucking gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing. We got to find out if he even makes weight come Friday.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Gastelum always has that issue because he is a big 170.
Out there pulling a Charles Oliveira and eating at McDonald's 3 days before weight. Weigh in, fucking come in at a whole nother weight class.
We start naming him Big Rigs Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm a big Cowboy guy. He's looked really good at this move up in weight class. But I agree, this is a totally different fight. Gastelum is an absolute machine, size-wise and everything. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. I'm pulling for Cowboy, but I got no money on this bad boy. Let's move on to this is gonna be a good one. In the middleweight division, the number 2 contender, Chris, the All-American Weidman, the local boy, 13-1 versus number 4, Yoel, Soldier of God, Romero, 11-1. Some call him Poo Poo Pants. Should be an interesting fight. There's a lot going on.
Hey, Jesus.
Hey, Jesus. There's a lot of names for Yoel, but he gets it done. World-class Olympic wrestler. What do you got on this one, Doc?
All right. This is really, 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 really tough for me. I like Romero. I do. I like Romero in this fight. There's only 2 things that's really keeping me on. Well, 3. His gas tank. He's got to be really, really super efficient with his movement. I think he's Romero's strong, dude. He's very, very capable of winning the fight. The only thing that concerns me is the USADA suspension and the fact that Weidman's one of the guys that's driving force behind getting MMA legalized in New York.
Yep.
And a lot of people are like saying that Weidman's gonna he's really hungry after losing his last fight. This is he's looking to get back into the mix. He's in the mix, but I'm just saying this is like the number 1 contender, But man, I like Romero. I haven't bet it yet, but I like Romero. I do. I don't know what it is, man. I like Romero. I just think he's really seriously capable of just housing Weidman in like the first round. He's capable.
Yeah.
He can do it. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to bet it yet. I don't know, but if I had to bet it, it'd be Romero. I just haven't bet it yet.
What are you thinking on this one, Dougie?
My man. Fuck yeah, Romero. I agree. This kind of comes down to like a styles make fights. Like what's Weidman gonna really do here? Or Weidman. I always say the wrong fucking name. What's Weidman really gonna do here? Like, I don't think he's outstriking him.
No.
Like, you don't want to play around on the feet with Romero for fucking an extended period of time. And is he really gonna out wrestle him?
Nope.
I mean, there's levels to this shit, and we're talking about a medaling Olympian and an All-American, and that's the level. Like, there's like, you can be a fucking brown belt and be a fucking All-American, or you can be a black belt and be an Olympian medalist. So like, what's he gonna do? I don't know. I mean, the thing he could do is he can just grind him, but like, it's not like Weidman has known for like a great gas tank. He's gassed before. Like, I just, the things that Romero can do defy gravity.
He's sick.
I don't like. Have you guys seen the old clip of him where he heel picks the guy standing?
Yeah,
that's like one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen done in a fight. And it's real simple, but like the thought process behind like, I'm so quick that I'm just going to pull your heel off the ground and you can't even fucking react to that is retarded. Or like the clip of the guy in like, he's like in someone's getting interviewed and they're in like some parking lot underground, and in the background is Yoel Romero with a dude. So he's body locked a guy upside down and he's spinning the guy like back and forth, like just like a body weight exercise, but he's doing it to a human. And it's like,
he's amazing.
What? It just doesn't make sense. And so I like Romero here too. I haven't played it yet. I want to make sure everything's good after weigh-ins and stuff, and money doesn't move in a weird direction or something. But yeah, I like him at plus money.
Yeah, no, Romero is definitely super talented. He's a finisher. Weidman wants to grind it out a little more. Not a good recipe, like you said, All-American versus Olympian. As much as I want to keep it in America, Romero, I think he's got the upper hand in this fight.
Real quick, Brian.
No problem.
Dougie, do you think, I mean, I actually think that Weidman, once Romero gets his hands on Weidman may be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because this is the most, I mean, Weidman's a good wrestler, but he is nowhere even near Romero's level. And like, he might just get in with Romero and then Romero gets a hold of him and Weidman be like,
especially if it's in the first couple minutes.
Right.
And like, I'm pretty sure that Romero, if he got a hold of fucking Josh Barnett in the first couple minutes of a fight, could body him also. Like, I don't think it matters how much you fucking weigh with him. Like, there's the wrestling, but then there's also the just pure athlete thing that he's got going, where he's like, maybe it's not even technical, but he just like suplexes the dude, and it's like, huh? Like, how did that even physically just happen? But like, ooh, I love Yoel Romero.
I like him a lot, but I haven't bet it yet. But yeah, I've been saying this for a while. I think Romero's just he's phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's a freak athlete, like you guys said, freak athlete. That as long as he doesn't slip up somewhere, this is his fight to lose. That takes us to the first of our 3 championship fights. And I know not everybody's big on the women's division, but this has insanity written all over it. This is the Women's Strawweight Championship, 115-pound little jumping beans out there. We got Joanna Champion, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, 12-0, 6-0 in the UFC, 4th title defense coming up against the Polish Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I'm not going to put any more than that. Kalic, thank you. 10-0, 3-0 in the UFC. The backstory here is great. Joanna was begging Dana to bring her into the UFC, wanting to fight her so bad. She proved herself. She's getting her fight. I know Joanna's a beast. They're similar in a lot of respects in their crazy volumes of strikes, their precision with their strikes. Only thing is this has 5 rounds of chaos coming at it. Dougie, kick us off on this one.
I think Joanna's the play. I think all things, she's the better striker. I just think she's a little longer. She's a little more volume. She hits a little harder. Her defense is a little better. She's got a little more ring craft. Her clinch is better. You know, her anti-wrestling. It's not like this girl's not going to be able to go to wrestling on her. It might be death by 1,000 cuts, and like this chick just might get beat up for 25 minutes, and like she might be competitive, you know what I mean? But like by minute 21, it's gonna look kind of gory, I bet. I don't really think she's gonna finish her. I think Carolina's pretty game, but you know, pretty like I think maybe like a Joanna Frankie parlay is probably not a terrible play.
Nice. What do you got, Doc? He likes the dog. Here it comes.
Really?
I like Carolina.
Holy shit.
I agree on Dougie. You make a very good argument for Joanna. I think Carolina, man, if she puts those knees to Joanna, I don't think Joanna's going to be as dominant. I think Carolina. I think Carolina can hang with her. I just do. I think this is. I just think there's too much value on Carolina. I really like her. I mean, I had her against.
Okay, wait. Here's a question.
Okay.
Do you actually think she's gonna win, or do you just think there's value on the line?
I think she can win, and I think there's value.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, is it going to be like a super big play for me? No, but I've had my eye on this fight. I've looked at it. I've studied it. I've watched both their fights over and over and over again. I just think Carolina has what it takes. I think her cardio is great. And we all know Joanna's cardio is phenomenal, but man, some just tells me Carolina is going to really make this a very, very competitive fight. I think. Call me crazy.
See, I'm torn on this fight because Joanna's awesome. We all know that. Carolina, I've really liked watching her fight. She's a heck of a fighter. And Joanna worried me a bit in her last fight because the first few rounds, she was getting it taken to her, but then her cardio and her volume, she took over and crushed the last 3 rounds. I don't think she can afford to do that with Carolina, like you're saying, with the knees and all that stuff. I think she can wear Joanna down a lot more. Now, if Joanna can come out stronger early or survive, yeah, it's Joanna's fight to lose or whatever, but I think Carolina is very game and can make this very interesting. And I don't have a play on this at the moment, but I completely see both sides of the story, which I'm not helping anybody here. But I think she's very game in this fight. Very much.
Her Muay Thai is phenomenal, Carolina's. And
yeah.
I just think that she presents a whole this is the best fighter Joanna's fought.
This is the fight Joanna wants, though. Joanna wants a fucking person that's not going to shoot. Like, so you're saying strike for strike, she can beat her because that's what's going down here. There's not, she
Well, it's
can't,
not going to the
she
ground.
can't tie it up like Claudia did. She
No, I
can't
know.
Yeah,
push her
no.
against the fence. I mean, it could
True.
end up against the fence, but the drive isn't going to be for a takedown. It's going to be for like a tie plum and the knees that you're, which I like. I'm not trying to discount this, but like, it's really hard for me. Like I would have been like, yeah, 100%. I understand the value because, and especially like, fuck, if this fight was going down in April of this year, it had happened like, 6 months ago, I'd be talking all kinds of shit to you about it. But like, because there's fucking so many people that are like, this guy's gonna win, it's a shoo-in, and then they get fucking mollywopped. I'm like not saying anything, and I like understand what you're saying because yeah, she's a good striker, but like I can't fucking see it. I can understand some value because of what's gone on this year, but like,
Right.
giving Joanna her fight like for 25 minutes, like she's longer. She's like, I mean, more power to you. Fucking A.
See, but see that
That's
that
why
angle.
they call you Positive Big. I mean, you're good at this. So I'm not. I mean, you've been on most of those guys that everybody else has been against. So like, you've probably had a fucking phenomenal year. But like,
yeah,
I mean, like, whoo.
I know.
Yeah.
I will fucking bow down if you have this one correct.
No, you don't need to do that.
No. But you know what I mean? Like, this will be a fucking amazing call because I don't know anybody making this call.
And you said something which I think might be you said something might be the biggest factor here is Joanna has wanted this fight for so long. I think she wants to make a statement to this girl. That's the only thing that scares me there. But
they've fought before.
When?
In kickboxing.
Oh, in kickboxing. I'm talking about
or in
MMA.
Muay Thai or whatever. Yeah, but like,
okay.
They know each other.
Oh yeah.
Why would she want? Why would she want this fight if she wasn't confident she could win if they've already fought each other?
True. Very true.
But like, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, she's game. Like, this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
Sweet. No, I'm looking forward to it because as bad as it sounds, I agree 100% on both your sides on this, which makes no sense if you're doing math. And it's literally, and like Dougie said also, the way this year has gone, would anything surprise you on this card? No.
Fuck
nothing
no.
at all would surprise me ever.
Fuck no.
But I definitely see the value. Tons of value in my opinion.
The Cubs won the fucking World Series, for Christ's fucking sakes.
And
the Cavs won.
Fucking
Cavs won.
Donald Trump is the president.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Which is proof anything can happen. Dougie or Dawk, you might have it in front of you. I don't know. What's the over on this fight?
Over 4.5 minus 180.
That tells you everything you need to know right there. Might be some slim value underneath, but neither one of these girls usually finish as much. So,
yeah.
Well, should be a good one. Should be a really good one. Let's move on to the second title fight on this card. Got the champion in the welterweight division, Tyrone, the chosen one, Woodley, 16-3, making his first title defense against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 13-1. Thompson looked amazing in his last fight against Rory McDonald. Looked outstanding. Tyrone beat Lawler, took the belt. This is wild. I like Wonderboy. I'll let you guys get involved on this. Doc, kick us off.
If you want to bet Woodley, if you like Woodley, the only path for victory I see for Woodley is a knockout. Because his cardio has come into question. Can he knock Wonderboy out? Yeah, it's going to be hard because Wonderboy is like really long and he comes at you with these weird. This guy's a matrix motherfucker. This guy might matrix somebody. I mean, this guy's been matrixing people for a while. But the only thing I think Wonderboy's phenomenal, and I love watching him fight. But this is a big step up in competition for Thompson. Huge, really big. You look at his last 4 fights: Patrick Cote, Jake Ellenberger, Big Mac, Johnny Hendricks, Big Rig, Big Mac, whatever you want to call him, and then a Rory McDonald. That's kind of like he's what is he? He's in Bellator now, for Christ's sake. So, I would really like to make a case for Woodley, but I can right now. I'm going to wait for the weigh-ins. And Woodley's got a really, really good kickboxing coach. So
Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus. So, if I think the value's on Woodley, of course. This is a really hard, tough fight for me. I might not even bet it, but if I had to, I would take Woodley, but I don't know if I'm going to. So
Wait, is Woodley the dog now?
Woodley is plus 170.
Woodley?
Yes, Woodley.
Holy fuck! Because I remember when this thing opened a while back. I think Thompson was like a 120, 130 dog.
No, I think he opened 150.
Holy shit! Okay, wow. Yeah, no, there is serious value on Woodley. Never mind. Scratch my earlier argument. Dougie, what do you got on this one?
I think this is a bad fight for Woodley stylistically. I think he wants to kickbox with people, and I think the range that Thompson keeps, is going to be really hard for him to land that counter on. I agree with Dawk that if you're going to play him by knockout, and I would even go as far as to say play him round 1. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to keep that kinetic type of shit up to close that kind of distance on Thompson before Thompson figures him out within a round. Because Thompson's, like you said, he's like that guy. He's really that good stand up.
Yeah.
I guess if Woodley decided to try to wrestle him, we don't really know what Thompson's like off his back. If you can get him there, he's got pretty good counter wrestling now because of his work with Weidman, but I doubt he could stop a blast double from Woodley. But Woodley doesn't do that shit. So, like, just seems like a bad matchup for him. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to close the distance. I mean, can close faster than anybody, but like, I just think that this range is going to be really hard with the angles that this guy's coming in at and flashing front kicks before he's doing shit. And, I think Thompson's probably the play. I probably won't play him. I'll probably just enjoy this fight though and watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, can't argue that at all. So, Doc, you're looking at Woodley, but you're going to kind of wait and see?
Yeah, I want to make a case for him, man. I actually liked Woodley in the beginning, and then I kind of watched these fights, and like I said, I think this is a big.
So good.
Yeah, Thompson's really good, man. I mean,
and like, I also want to, like, we were talking up his past opponents, but like when he fought Johnny Hendricks, like, Johnny Hendricks was still a baller. And that's a pretty close, a power punching fucking wrestler that doesn't really use his wrestling is Woodley's like a more kinetic version of that. Like, he's more like one punch, just like, like close on you, but like, it's still that kind of guy. And you fucking, push that guy's shit in. So I don't know. I mean,
Woodley inside the distance is plus 280.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I'd look at it. And
yep.
I'm probably like Dougie. I mean, I really, really, really want to make a case for Woodley.
Well, don't inside the distance is ridiculous. Do KO and get another dime.
Yeah, you can do that too. That's a good point.
Yeah, he's not submitting anybody.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And what is there a round 1 prop up yet?
Yeah, Woodley wins in round 1 plus 400.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Your line's better. You're losing $1 to get the whole fight.
Yeah, I might follow suit with Dougie. I might just enjoy this one because I think it's going to be a great fight. But
what's the under?
The under is on the under is plus 105. 2.5 rounds plus under 2.5 rounds is plus 105.
That seems like a really good bet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it should be good. I really like both fighters. We had Woodley beating Lawler and Dawk. We were all over that one. But Wonderboy is just something special about this guy. But yeah, this might be just a lot of these fights are so evenly matched. It might just be worth sitting back and watching.
Yeah.
But that'll take us to the granddaddy of them all, the champ versus champ. This will be for the lightweight title in the 155-pound division. The champ is Eddie Alvarez, 28-4. Fights out of Philly, somewhat local boy, taking on the one and only Conor McGregor, making his 155 fight title attempt. Wow. Dougie, kick us off.
Great fight. This is just a good fight. I don't Conor's going to want to do his thing where he's going to force a counter out of you and try to step off and, come in on an angle with his straight left. And Alvarez is either going to try to pressure him against the fence or he's going to try to counter Conor's stuff. We've both seen them be vulnerable before. We've both seen them knock fuckers out. Eddie's got back pocket wrestling where that's still kind of a question with Conor. I don't think he's bigger than Conor. I think Conor's maybe bigger than him. This is just going to be a good fight. I would assume take the dog money on Eddie, but probably just watch this one. This is going to be fucking bonkers.
Yep, I am not arguing you there. What do you got, Doc?
I like Eddie Alvarez. Surprise.
Yep. I'm on board. Let's go.
My reasoning of why I really like Eddie Alvarez is because Conor has – you look at Conor's past year and a half and compare that to Eddie Alvarez, and it's like night and day. Conor he's been busy. So I think that Alvarez is by far the fresher fighter. And if anyone tells you that those two Diaz fights didn't take anything out of McGregor, they are fucking lying to you.
Yeah,
they did, and especially the last one. I'm very. If I was King Conor McGregor, I would be very, very skeptical with the fact that he's been bouncing around weight classes, and that's just not good. In that short of a time span, it's not good. I think Alvarez is a very, very complete fighter. He's a good wrestler. I think he's be able to take her down, and I think he can. He's got a striking coach, Mark Henry, who's fucking awesome. Yeah. Got fast hands. I think that Eddie Alvarez poses so many problems for Conor McGregor, and Alvarez, I like Alvarez a lot. I do.
Yeah, what do you have the line at right now, Doc?
Plus 135.
Yeah, I'm in love with it. I've been big on Eddie the last few fights. I think you have been as well. The guy's an all-around fighter. He's not appreciated, in my opinion. Conor, you saw how, sure, I didn't think he won the last fight. I know a lot of people argue that he did.
I don't think he did.
This might be a better weight class for him than 170. I could see that argument. I could see that argument a lot. And the thing that scares me is a lot of this stuff seems like it could be – I'm not saying UFC is WWE, but this sets up perfectly for Conor to win and then Diaz and Conor 3 for the belt at 155. It's setting up fucking perfect. I hate it. It shouldn't be, but I agree. But I love Eddie Alvarez. I think great fighter here. Conor, you never count Conor out, obviously. The guy's a hell of a fighter, but I think there's serious value in Eddie. You either play Eddie or you sit back and watch, in my opinion. But I like Eddie a lot in this fight. When they announced it, I was very, very excited about it.
We actually talked about it on the last pod, Eddie Alvarez versus Conor, before they made the fight, and I said me Alvarez. But the way I also look at Alvarez is like Chad Mendez on steroids. Like really, really on steroids. And Mendez didn't have a full camp and gave Conor like a lot of trouble in the first round and a half. But Alvarez, his cardio is phenomenal. I just think he's a different animal. I think Alvarez is going. I think Alvarez is going to win. I think he's going to win convincingly. I think he's capable of fucking throwing Conor around like a rag doll, to be honest.
Interesting. Dominating. All right. Well, that gets us through the UFC 205 fight card. Did you guys want to recap anything, Dougie? Anything you got? Closing thoughts?
No, this is just going to be a great one. I was at the Conor Aldo fight. So this is like the next card that they've put together that's bigger than that one. So this will be cool to see from back at, I mean, obviously I wish I was there again, but like it'll be cool to see how big this spectacle in New York is that they do. This will be cool to see.
Nice. What do you got, Doc? Closing thoughts on the fight?
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I echo everything that Dougie just said. I think this is just awesome. I mean, this is like so much better than 200. It's like sick.
Yep.
And I'm like really, really pumped. And there's a lot of good fights and a lot of good value on the board as far as like if you like underdogs like myself, but I would just be very, very cautious and don't bet every fight.
Yeah. No doubt about that. Well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for coming. This was your UFC 205 podcast, preview podcast. You had Dougie. You can find him on Twitter at California_MMA. You can find Doc as normal at +_Vig. You can find myself at BDNtrick. Check us out at TheSportsDegens, TheSportsDegens.com. Lots of fun stuff coming out there. But most importantly, enjoy the fights. Awesome card. Well worth the pay-per-view price, in my opinion, plus the free cards. Hope the info helps. And we will catch you guys again next time. And we're out.